Hello. Sorry, I thought that would be a weird way to start a video, and it makes me giggle, so I did it. Hello! Welcome, Bible Study Methodsers. I'm sorry for the close-up on my unbrushed teeth. Probably, it's the middle of the day. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a couple tips on doing your literary context papers. So, again, first step, read Philippians 2, 1 through 11 4 or 5 times. Summarize it in 2 sentences. Know that 2, 1 through 11, frontwards and backwards, and again, use the ESV text. Have a couple ideas of keywords that are used in our passage in case that connects to the previous passage. Okay? Good? So, why don't you start, just like my example starts, with the theme of the book section. So, on your paper, you can title it the same way, just theme underlined, paragraph indent, and first sentence, give me a theme statement for the book of Philippians. We talked about theme statements in class. They probably should include something about rejoicing in all circumstances, plus one other element that helps summarize the book. You should probably know this or look for feedback on your Philippians assignment, not the literary context one you're writing right now, but the one that you just turned in. Themes section, start with a theme statement of the book of Philippians. And after you have stated the theme statement of the book, your job is to take 2, 1 through 11, just 2, 1 through 11, and relate our passage to the message of the book. Are they similar? Are they opposites? Does this play an important part in that in some way? Be very clear. Use some examples. Remember, I don't want long quotes from Philippians at all. You can use short quotes. Use verse numbers when you're talking about a specific idea. But demonstrate to me how our passage fits in, relates to, exemplifies the theme of the book. Next is the before section. In the before section, you're going to look at probably like Philippians 1:19 through 30. And I want you to kind of, in a couple of sentences, briefly summarize those verses. What is the main idea? What's being talked about? And then I want you to connect what Paul was talking about in that section, 1:19 through 30. Yeah. I want you to connect that to 2, 1 through 11. Because what you really want to do with context, remember, is to take our passage, 2, 1 through 11, and help me understand how what Paul said before flows into our passage. What is that connection? How is Paul's point being expanded or moved upon? You need to make that clear. So before section, 2 to 3 sentences of summary, then maybe 4 or 5 sentences making that connection very clear, and then end with a clear summary statement telling me that connection. Okay? That's the same format for the after section, the third section, in which the after section, if our passage stops at 2:11, is probably 2:12 through 18. I don't think you need to get much further into the Timothy Epaphroditus stuff, but just make sure that paragraph afterwards, you're figuring out how does 2, 1 through 11 and this focus on humility and Christ as our example flow into this part. Make that connection clear. Start with 2 to 3 sentences of summary of 2:12 through 18. And then move into explaining that connection, and with a summary statement that's clear. Strategies, again, would be to begin by reading 2, 1 through 11 several times, then moving to the before section, writing little summaries of different paragraphs to kind of help relate them. And again, I feel like my example I gave is pretty helpful, the one in Colossians at the back of the handout. As you see on Converge, this is due Tuesday at class time. You may not work with other people. You don't use any commentaries. Don't Google this passage. Don't look for help. It's a pure observation assignment. Okay? Can't work together. Can't study together. Do this all on your own. And there is a hear and respond section in the example, but I do not think we're going to do the hear and respond. You guys can skip it. We don't need to do that. Anything else I need to say? It's worth 150 points. I think you can do it. This one's a bit more of a technical paper, and I wish you the best of luck. And yes, on Converge, there's 2 documents. One's my grading guide to show you what I'm going to be grading for. You might want to look that over before you turn it in case that there are tips on how to get a good grade. And then There's a document with instructions, an example for formatting, and at the very end there's a Colossians example where I do a literary context assignment with a passage in Colossians. If you're really struggling with this paper, you need to read Colossians chapter 2 and then look at my example and see how I did it. That would be pretty helpful. Good luck, everyone. Talk to you later. Sorry for zooming in on my soul patch.